Good evening or morning or afternoon. I have not podcasted in a very long time. And I don't know why I'm doing it now. I guess because it feels like a good time to. I'm anxious. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how good this lighting is, if you're watching it. So since we last talked, I've gained 35 pounds, maybe 40. Good pounds. It was intentional. I ate 4,500 calories or more a day for 4 or 5 months. I worked out 4 or 5 days a week, and I feel good. And my hair is longer thanks to quarantine. It's depending on the last time you watched or went on my Instagram, my hair is darker. Last year was a weird year. We talked about some good stuff, but it was overall a great year, especially compared to this year. I'm going to try very hard not to get political. I'm going to try very hard not to push my opinions on Corona, killer hornets, or I don't know what to call it. I feel like whatever I call it will be offensive. That's what's so scary about this. I guess you would call it the Black Lives Matter movement. If you're a social justice warrior, you're probably thinking right now, you're like, wow, what does he mean by that? And I'm not going to tell you. I play both sides, but I always search for the facts and I search for fairness. And I love when I'm wrong because that means that I've uncovered new information. It's a weird time. But let's just try to focus on other things. I'm in Birmingham now. I have been since basically March 13th when we were declared national state of emergency. It's been good, but I didn't want to stay in New York. I didn't know how bad things would get. I didn't know if we would. It seems like it got worse with the BLM stuff, with the riots and the protests. It felt like I was scared of whenever Corona happened that we would have curfews and government overreach, which we did. And then whenever the protests were happening, there was government overreach then. But that's when worse stuff, in terms of the curfews and police overreach and people overreaching and people justifying certain actions. And it's crazy. Everybody's just virtue signaling and assuming racism. And if you disagree with the rhetoric, I'm already getting into it. But you don't know what I think. Let's just assume that we agree. How about that? But I was in New York, I guess a week before all this, Corona started, or it got declared state of emergency. And I go to this coffee shop called Black Cat LES, and there's this very cute gal that works there. She is Russian. A very cute accent, very cute gal. She wears cool shirts, usually rock and roll. I'm nice to her, and she's an absolute bitch to me. And I love it. And then, I'm always like, thanks. And I kind of hover for a second and then I get nervous and then leave. And she's like, but one day I was like, all right, look, you're cute and it'd be cool if, we could go out sometime. No pressure. And then when I said no pressure, I go, she goes, nope, nuh-uh. And, I was like, but I like your style. And she goes, no, And I don't know. It sucked. I mean, usually they at least let you finish what you had to say. And I'd thought about it for weeks or maybe months, all built up to this moment, me hitting on this girl. And she, I don't know, I was depressed. And so I was, up there I had my car up there for a little bit. And I just got in my car and just started driving, I was so depressed. I can't believe I let it get to me that bad, but I was just so depressed. And then if I'm depressed, I usually listen to sad music, but I was like, I don't want to be depressed. And so I put on Katy Perry, and it was this song. And I just started crying. I don't know. The song got to me. I just started crying. I was like, God, it's sad. She had a crazy party, and it was last Friday night. She ended up in jail or something. I mean, it's fucking sad, man. Rebecca Black's in the music video, who's our queen. I love her. And she was in the music video. I mean, fuck, man, I just started crying. And I was driving over the Williamsburg Bridge, and I just decided, this is it, man. I'm done with this life. And so I grabbed the wheel and swerved, and I was heading straight for the guardrail. And I was like, this is it. I'm going to die. And then the Tesla took right back over, and it just took control, and it got me home safely while I was crying in the back seat, and it let me out, and I'm fine now. So thank God for the Tesla saving my life in that moment. It was a dark moment, but I'm still here, right? And shout out to Elon Musk, man. You saved my life. God, I keep thinking of things that are political, and I'm really trying to avoid that, because I feel like if I say something that people will read into it, it's just weird times, man. I mean, if you're somebody who reads into things, if you're a social justice warrior, yeah, you got to stop. You're not helping. You're just shaming other people for how they're doing it, and that's just silly. Doesn't help the problem. The objective is to solve racist people and racist things. By shaming your friends doesn't help. I don't get why we're boycotting prison labor. That's those guys need jobs. Those guys and gals need jobs too. I mean, they put in a good, nice day's work. They make license plates. We already knew that, but you rock a license plate. So don't get all high and mighty, okay? Unless you're going to rock no license plate like me. I haven't registered a car in 10 years because I'm anti-prison labor. But on the flip side, like I said earlier, I play both sides. So it's like, you got, I forgot the companies, but it was a lot of like really well-known companies like McDonald's and stuff. It's like they do prison labor. I mean, how are they supposed to have commissary? We got to give them work, and they take pride in it. They love making, Tums. They love making those little powdered tablets that make your stomach not hurt, but it's all a fucking lie because your stomach's still hurting. It's just you numb it, and you're still dying. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's false. Everybody, I hope I don't get fact checked. But what can you do? And by the way, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that, but it's just a joke. I don't know why I have to clarify, but I do. I like how if you're watching, I'm like in the darkness, and then I can lean into the light. So if I want to make a big point, my mic can just squeak into making good points when I lean forward. It's crazy though. It's like we're gonna break apart. We're gonna break this country apart. And I want to be a part of the side that's just called states, because we used to be United States of America, but it seems like we're not united anymore. Or at least that's like the loud majority. It makes it seem like everybody hates each other and everybody's racist and stuff. But I don't know. I've had really valuable conversations with a lot of people of all different cultures and nationalities, and we're all on the same page. That's what you have to remember is, for the most part, guys, we're all on the same page. We all want the same things. It's just that some people's approach just comes off more extreme. And I think it's just because people, when they feel like in a state of defense or even offense, they double down. And they'll even, like, they don't even have a goal in mind. They're just doubling down, and they're just doing whatever, the opposite of what their opponent is doing. But it's not political. It's not left or right. I mean, the left seems to want less government right now, which is what the right wants, and what they've always wanted. They want less rules and regulations. So I don't even remember. But yeah, states. So I think it's cool if we just name states, period. You know, it's like when Justin Timberlake told Mark Zuckerberg on The Social Network, that, you know, movie, he was like, hey man, lose the, make it just Facebook. And I feel like we should just be states, the good side or the bad. I don't know. Either side's good. Everybody has good intentions. I think the extremes, the far left and far right, as they named it, those are the bad people. We'll put them in, I guess DMZ, the demilitarized zone. They can just do whatever they want. But for everybody else, we can just, you know, lead with love, lead with empathy. Unless you cross me, then I'll punch you in the face. So don't fucking cross me, okay? We're in a cancellation season. Everybody's getting canceled. Hell, I feel like everybody's worried they're going to get canceled. I actually think that you're more likely to get canceled than you are not get canceled. So essentially, I think that's what's going to, you know, well, that's how they'll split apart the country is, you know, some people will go in the states and then some people will go into DMZ. And I feel like everybody who's like the DMZ, those are all the people who cancel. And then states will be the people that get canceled. And I've always said that if I ever get canceled, it'd be for something I say, not for something I've done. If you know me, you know that I have a very offensive sense of humor. It makes me feel alive. But I'm also very loving and empathetic, and, you know, I want everybody to do well. Everybody that's a good person by the book, by the definition of a good person. You know, we're all imperfect, but everybody that's a good person or can heal from their mistakes, they do well. I forgot what I was talking about, but yeah, I'll get canceled for something I say, probably on a previous episode of a podcast, or maybe even this one. So I don't know, maybe it's cooler to be canceled for silly things. I mean, they're canceling celebrities they're canceling statues, man. Statues don't even have feelings. They don't even have beating hearts. They're canceling statues. Like George Washington got beat to shit, and Abraham Lincoln. It's like, man, what did they do? They're just concrete, you know? It's fucked up. And, you know, I've never done anything I've never, you know, overreached with a woman, and I've never just been hateful to people. So it would be something that I say, my very offensive sense of humor, which was just called humor in like 10 years ago. It was just normal humor. They're canceling celebrities for like blackface in like 1991 when like it was on SNL and like Chris Rock wrote the skit. It's a black dude. I mean, if he signed off on it. What about Robert Downey Jr.? He was on Tropic Thunder. Did they forget about that? He was so convincing, though, they probably don't realize that it's Robert Downey Jr. So, I don't know. I could get canceled for saying this. Here's something. I was walking down the road, not the road. I was walking on the sidewalk in New York, walking my dogs, and you can't see them, but they're very flat-faced, which is a racial slur. I would never say it, you know, unless I'm talking about my dogs. But it was cold outside. I was walking them, and I was like, "Hurry up, you flat-faced fucks!" And I turned to my right, and there's these two old Asian women, and they're like cowered down, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I was talking to my dogs, and then my dogs were gone. Like, I don't know where they went, but they were gone. And so it seemed like I was lying. They're like, "Oh, it's my dogs." And then they just got mad at me, and they hit me with they were beating me to shit with purses. They just had one purse initially, one each, but then they just kept more purses kept coming in. And by the end of, by the time all my ribs were broken and I was just bleeding from everywhere, 20 purses each. 20 purses each. Imagine the pain that I felt. Imagine what I had to go through. So be careful what you say, guys. Everything is a double meaning. Everything is a double entendre. It's fucking crazy. Oh, I'm drinking this this whiskey here. It's just a little bit, guys. It's fine. If you're listening, I'm holding a glass of whiskey. So man, we haven't talked in so long. There's so much happening. So in January 1st of this year, I did sober January. I was like initially, I was like 2 months into working out, and December started off good. But by the time I was to the end of December, I'd been drinking every day. I wouldn't get drunk every day, but it was, my liver was feeling it. And it was hard to get through workouts. I was like mentally declining. Like I couldn't find words. And I even tried to podcast in December because it had been a while, and I just was like dumb. I was just a dumb idiot. So I was like, man. So my trainer was like, yeah, I'm doing sober January. And I was like, man, I'll do it too. And at the time I was like, there's no way, man. I love my whiskey and I love my wine. And even if it's a glass a night is usually what it would be. And the weekends I'd get drunk. So, I did entire month of January. 7 days in, I felt fucking amazing. I mean, I remember working out and being like, we're done? Like, holy shit, I didn't get winded. I felt phenomenal. My brain was kind of coming back. And then after like another week, it was like even better. It's like I tripled myself. And man, it was amazing. And so I got to the end of January, and like during December, I didn't really see any like workout results, and I didn't gain much weight. And so January though, everything kind of hit because I was working out so much harder. I was able to eat healthier and able to eat more. And so it started really, like I saw so many results, and like that 4-week period, I saw like more results than any time since. And so after, January, I was like, I'm still I don't feel right drinking. I don't want to drink. And I didn't drink at all. I think the first time I had a drink was a glass of wine on my birthday, February 17th. I turned 32. So I had a glass of wine then, but then I went another, half month and didn't again. I've only been drunk once this year. Once. Every other time it's like one glass a week maybe. And I feel fucking great. And it's weird, I love wine and I love whiskey, but I also love feeling great. So I don't have any rules for myself, and I don't have a drinking problem, obviously. But it's all physical, you got to take care of your body. And I mean, the biggest thing is I physically feel so good. And I think working out obviously affects your brain. And I've never been a guy that worked out either. It blows me away that I want to go work out. And then after I feel amazing because I never felt that way. I always felt like shit after I worked out, but I was doing it wrong. So if you're somebody who's like, man, I wish I could go work out. I'm the guy that like you'd never think would go work out. I just was super skinny, and I feel like if it's like so common for people who are overweight to go work out, but if you're skinny, it's like, oh, you're skinny. But I was underweight, and I just didn't feel good physically. Like how I looked and everything. So look, you can see my leg. I should have shaved my legs, then it would have looked cool. It's just white, dude. It looks like just my same color as my shoes. Damn, I am drunk, dude. I'm fucked up. Just kidding. Man, I hope this is interesting. I get like insecure that I'm just, boring. And I'm like, who the fuck am I to have a podcast, right? What am I doing? Who cares what I have to say? But I don't know. People have been like, Chase, when's your next podcast? And I'm like, what? Soon, man. Double tap like. See you later. See you later. Anyway, here we are podcasting. We're freaking 20 minutes in. So yeah, health and working out. Forgot what I was saying. I need like somebody here with me who can like keep me on task. I'm so ADD. But yeah, I remember once physically, when you work out, it helps your brain. It's just like blood flow and all this stuff. Like your heart works good, your nerves work good. You're moving in all the different directions, and that's just good for your brain. It's good for your body. And endorphins are released, and the more endorphins that you release, the better you feel. There's no research against that. And I'm not doing like crazy heavy weights. I don't want to be a huge like buff guy. I just want to be slim, thick, right? Slim, thick. And I'll go with 2 C's on that one. I mean, sometimes people are slim, thick with 1 C. I'm trying to go slim, thick with 2 C's because, I mean, I'm still like a, slim guy. I don't know if you're watching, but it's like, here I am, rock you like a hurricane. But anyways, so I feel great, guys. I mean, maybe I hate how inconsistent I am with this podcast. I did it like 8 weeks in a row, and that was good, but I just ran out of steam, It's nice to have somebody else here just to like back and forth with, but I'm not like an interviewer, and I don't know anybody who's like a super famous person or whatever, but I don't think it matters. I mean, the podcast that got the most views was the one that I had with somebody, with Hunter, and he's just a fucking guy, man. He's a dumbass idiot loser, and people liked it, man. So if you can make that guy interesting, I guess, I don't know. It would just be cool to find somebody to do this with, and to have, just always have like, all right, here's 4 topics, and then once we start going, we start going. So that was kind of like, wow, I ran out of steam, but. And also, when I start rambling like this, and I have like me to me, like conscious or subconscious, I'm just like, Chase, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like no one gives a fuck about you, dude. You're a worthless piece of garbage. But then I'm also like, but you're also really a cool guy, and maybe you have some wisdom to share, and at least maybe make somebody laugh. Give some good perspective, or get canceled. So this is just the inner dialogue that happens in my brain. You'll notice I'm wearing, if you're listening, you're just going to have to imagine, me with a white shirt, but I'm wearing Dale Earnhardt Sr. NASCAR shirt from the 90s. Super into NASCAR shirts. I went to the thrift store like when it first opened up after quarantine, and I found like 2 super fucking good NASCAR shirts. And I was a big ass NASCAR fan when I was like 9 and 10 and 11. I knew like every driver's name and all that stuff. And then I got into skateboarding, but then I got into cars. But now I'm into cars, and I'm not really, I'm not into NASCAR necessarily, but either way I was for a bit. And it was fun. I watched it every Sunday. Went to a bunch of races too, and because I'm, and I'm in Alabama, so Talladega is just right there. So it's kind of nostalgic. I think, there's research that shows when as men and women get older, they get more depressed, and they get farther and farther from like their nostalgic periods. And so if you put them in a car from when they were like when they were kids or teenagers, 20s, if you put them in a car, show them a movie, give them some music, it is, proven that it is in research, it has shown that it makes them astronomically happier. And so I feel like I've been trying to get cool like 90s band shirts too. And I have a bunch already. I have Ramones, Misfits, Slayer. That was my shit when I was a teenager. And then back then I wore huge shirts. Like it was kind of cool to wear like way big shirts because I was a small kid, but I wore like large or extra large. And now that's what I wear. So it's kind of cool. So I have a bunch of old band shirts that I wear sometimes. But getting more of those, like I found this, I got the other NASCAR shirt. I found like an Alan Jackson shirt from 2001, super fucking cool. I can't name you one Alan Jackson song, but it's cool. I mean, it kind of looks like Diplo, so it's kind of like Diplo of 2001. I also couldn't name you a Diplo song. Yeah. Let me breathe for a second and drink some whiskey. I got some tunes here. So here's something. SoundCloud. I am fully into SoundCloud. As a 32-year-old man, somehow I'm into SoundCloud. So they have these, like there's so much there. So many artists have unreleased music, like crazy. And it's not even uploaded from them. I don't really know how it works. I guess it's leaked songs that never made it. But like, I mean, all of it. Like, if you're into like Kim Petras or Lana Del Rey or The Weeknd or Drake or, Ariana, like whatever you're into. I'm obviously like more popular scale because if the middle end stuff that a lot of us, I mean, we all listen to like small bands, big bands, artists. But yeah, I feel like there's probably not as much emphasis on them and their unreleased stuff. But yeah, some of that, I love Kim Petras. And she, so many, I'm talking 20 unreleased songs on there. So it's cool because it was just like, I instantly got 20 new songs when I'd played her existing discography so much. And there's also remixes. And that's, again, something that thought I would never be into. And I'm super fucking into it. So there's this, what I'll do is I'll put a link to my SoundCloud playlist on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. But there's these 80s remixes of popular songs. So you got like the one I just did was Fifth Harmony, Sledgehammer. I'd never even heard that song, never really gotten to Fifth Harmony. But yeah, they do like, this is the beginning of the song. So obviously super 80s, and then this is the chorus. Damn, it's good. So, from Bieber to like Katy Perry to Kim Petras to Jessie J, Drake, so much stuff has 80s remixes. It's just this trend on SoundCloud. And I love 80s sounds. So like 80s pop music is the shit. 80s rock music is the shit. Like my favorite, like to this day. And so it's cool because I like pop music because I like so much music. I'll listen to like a pop song and then I'll listen to Slayer. And then I'll listen to the Misfits. And I love pop music because it's kind of like developed to just be upbeat. And I've noticed that the people who don't like pop music hate their fucking lives. And they're just like trying to be cool, like the people who they like music that makes them seem obscure and cool. Don't be like that. Just have a good time, just be open-minded to everything. I don't like all pop songs. There's some stuff that drives me fucking crazy. Like I guess a pop song would be considered Be Had Behaby, and I don't fucking like that shit. I just can't get into it. And I'm not, if people have stuff that they don't like, I would never shame anybody for their music taste. I think that's silly. Music is for you. And I would be like, I don't quite like mumble rap. I don't quite understand. But I also, I understand that like in fashion, I like stuff that's super weird and gaudy, and I like it. And I do that with car stuff too. So I understand. It's like something so weird and obscure that it just hits somehow. So I would never be like, I can't believe you listen to that garbage. That's just so fucking stupid, man. If you judge people like that, get the fuck over yourself. Because like when you do that, people like usually the people on the receiving end, they think, oh God, this person's like listens to music to try to seem cool. Like they want people to see them on Spotify, like listening to weird shit. Just have fun, listen to a nice pop song, right? And this is weird, but lately, in the last few months, just this year, I've been there's a bug. You can't see, but I'm swatting at a bug. Just this year, bear with me. I just, don't forget, I just told you that if you judge people's music taste, that you're fucking stupid, and you're a loser, and you're going to hell. Don't forget that I just said that, okay? But this year, I kind of like country music. Within reason. So, some of it I don't like. But, man, some of it I like. Usually, so for me, I like the newer stuff. I'm not big into like the 90s. And again, I'm not judging if you like it. But I think that because I was raised in Alabama, you would assume that I would like country music. But I think as like growing up, once I had once I developed my own taste, I was skateboarding, and so like country was the farthest thing from skateboarding. So it's kind of like anti like the norm. So if more people in Birmingham were listening to country music, I'd be like, well, I listen to this. And I've never been somebody to judge other people's music taste. Like even from a young age, I was like supportive, but I don't know. But this year, I think it's because I really got into Casey Musgraves, and of course my friends John and Jacob and Trevor, they have they got into like a more southern sound. I wouldn't call it country, but they got into more southern sound, and I really like what they do. And that kind of like, of course, you know, I went to their concert and they opened up for Casey Musgraves, so I got into Casey, and then I got into her husband's music, Rustin Kelly, which is like not country, but it's like country adjacent because it's like a southern sound. So you hear like slide guitar, some banjo or harmonica. And that led me, you know, once like Spotify radio took over, I was like, fuck, I like this. So I made a playlist on Spotify called Fuck It, I Like Country. I give up. I like country. What can I do? So maybe I'll put a link to that playlist too. But I posted an Instagram story the other day, and I was driving through downtown Birmingham in the new road. We made a new bridge through downtown, and it's pretty fucking cool. There's like really good views of our skyline. And I put this song with it, and it got stuck in my head for fucking days. Here it is. Key change. What's that? I don't even know who sings that song, but I just typed in Birmingham on like music on Instagram, and it said paint me a Birmingham. And I was like, yo, this song fucking sucks. It's fucking terrible. But I'm not judging you if you like it. I mean, honestly. But by definition, it's a bad song. So fuck you, man. Again, just kidding. I am kidding. If you love Paint Me a Birmingham, good for you, man. I deeply support you, and I love you. I'm in love with you, actually. So I'm sorry. I don't know what else. I like put other music on here, and I don't even remember, but maybe it'll be like a maybe it'll be like a conversation starter. I'm just thinking about something random. Hang on, I got a text. Anyways, I don't know. Damn. What's this? I just wanna live. Good Charlotte. I don't know, man. I don't really have anything for that. I'm never gonna give you up. Ooh, this is another SoundCloud thing. So, yeah, that's obviously Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up, Never Gonna Let You Down. And I found a fucking remix of it or something. Or maybe a guy covered it, but it sounds cool. I'm never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Imagine getting Rickrolled with that beautiful shit. You go to a website and it starts popping up Rick Astley, but like older and newer. And you're like, oh fuck, I'm getting Rickrolled. I'm never gonna give fuck, I'm getting Rickrolled. Oh God, no. Oh, not again. I just imagine that like I'm yelling to you in your car and you're like, Jesus, fuck. And you like lose control and you're like, oh fuck. And you're like flipping into a ravine and you're like, fuck, I should have bought a Tesla because it would save your life. Because I tried to kill myself. I tried to drive through a bridge and just end it all and not give a fuck and get eaten to bits by sharks and piranhas and dolphins or whatever. Maybe a whale. I imagine a whale wouldn't eat me. He would accidentally eat me just because he was yawning. He's like, and then bam, I'm eaten. So I just feel like, most whales are benevolent. Beautiful creatures though, but they definitely accidentally eat a lot of stuff. Imagine having a mouth so big and being so big that you accidentally are eating things all the time. Maybe that's what overweight people's excuse is. They just have big mouths and they're like, oops, I didn't mean to eat that whole pizza. So, and that's what's wrong with America. I feel like that's a good place to end it. I know this isn't very long, but like, I need to like get the fuck over it. But I have this inner again, the inner dialogue that's like, dude, you gotta chill, man. You're just really fucking blowing it, dude. Everybody hates you. And there's the other side that's like, you're the shit, bro. You're the best, man. And then again, a whale comes through and eats me. Unintentionally. So, I have a couple notes here. Let me see if there's anything that I need to talk about. I mean, sometimes you just got to get it out, right? How to fuck God in an honoring. How to fuck God in an honoring way. Oh, how to fuck in a God honoring way. I don't know what that means. Actually, this might be a good practice. I'm going to read some of my notes here. I just have random thoughts and then that's it. And so I'm just going to read them to you. Welcome to my fucking subconscious. How to fuck in a God honoring way. I ask permission to fuck my wife. Everybody just be careful out there. You know, you're not alone. How about that? You're not alone. You probably have strong opinions on everything and you're scared to say it out loud, but I'll tell you, you're not alone. And you should question everything. You should not allow the government to tell you what to do or not allow corporate or fucking bullshit celebrities tell you what to do. Question that shit. It's not always a conspiracy theory. You know, people do that argument warfare shit when they're trying to prove their point, and they say things like this. They go, "Do you really believe that? Oh, we got a conspiracy theorist on our hands." Here's another one. "Oh, fuck you, you piece of shit." That's another one. So there's just a couple examples of argument warfare, or they just avoid you completely. They won't have a conversation with you. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's okay to question things. It's okay, no matter what. There's good and evil in everything. That's what my tattoo means, and I learned that early on because my father was a very charismatic person who seemed great, but he's actually a fucking piece of shit. And I watched people believe him, and I watched people get fucked over by him, including myself. And so from a young age, from being a teenager, there is good and evil in everything. Okay? And it's okay to question stuff. There's gangsters that are the best dudes ever, and there's pastors, obviously priests, that are horrible people. And wolf in sheep's clothing, that term, that phrase exists for a reason. So I get that the internet kind of comes off as like a full, complete rhetoric, and that there's these groups of people that are just sheep and they just follow whatever the popular rhetoric says. But I'm telling you right now, you're not alone, and it's okay to question. No matter how, I would probably just do it silently on your own time because you'll get fired from your job. Not from Chase Bays. I wouldn't do that. But people are getting fired for questioning what's going on. And then, you know, like for, you know, the Corona mask situation, it's like, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to Google search, and don't let your friends argument warfare you because they're just flipping sides all the time. If you think about it critically, people are always flipping sides. They want to trust the government and then they want to contradict the government. Be an individual. And not everything is politics. And I'm just saying, you're not alone. It's okay to question things. It really is. Let's just keep on this movement, right? We all want equality. We all want to love each other. But it's also okay to question stuff. And that's all I've got for you. Farewell, guys. Well, not that one. Bye.